Hello and welcome to the show. It's me, JP, and it's time for another JP's Product Pick of the Week. Can you believe we've made it this far? It's Tuesday. Okay, that's not very far into the week, admittedly, but I'm excited about our show today. And as is custom here in these parts at this time on this day, I want to send you over to a URL where you are going to find a tremendous 50% off discount on our item of the week this week. And if you head to this URL or go over to this QR code, you will find this page right here. And there you're going to see it's half off for the item. My goodness, that's just tremendous. So before I go any further in describing what our product pick of the week is, I want to let Lady Ada go back in time a couple of times, actually back to the year 2013, and then fast forward a few years to 2013 so you get the full picture, the full history of this product. So take it away, Lady Ada. Why don't you?
Yeah, this is our latest. We previewed this actually, and then John's going to take some great photos of it.
I have a little bit of video I want to show.
Okay, show us video. So pretty.
You ready for this? This is crazy.
Oh, it's
so yeah, it looks really good. So this is the 8x8 matrix, and it's got 64 LEDs, and it's actually like really warm from all this work it's doing. And you should have it running the demo. So yeah, each LED is individually addressable, but you only need one wire to control all of them. And they're chained down, and it even works with our NeoMatrix code that we have. And on the back, there's these nice gold tabs. You can I designed this so that if you took multiple ones, you could tile them, and they'll tile dimensionally perfect. There won't be a spacing difference because it's like this is exactly 1/2 of the spacing between these two. So this is as tight pitch as we could get it, and I really like it because it's like you can get an 8x8 RGB matrix, but it won't be nearly as bright. You'd have to multiplex it. This is only one pin, and it's like ready to go. It's 24-bit color, super sweet. So yeah, there's these tabs that I designed so that if you tile them, you can solder the tabs to make it more mechanically stable. And then you can chain these, and there's some mounting holes around the edges. So yeah, super bright, 8x8.
Great job.
And then we also updated the 8x8 LED matrices. So same thing. You basically have 64 LEDs, and you can chain these, of course, and have a grid, and they tile nicely if you want to have like a gridded display of some sort with RGBW LEDs. Go for it. This also is available in cool, 600 degree Kelvin, neutral. I don't care, we're in space or something. Like this is the end of 2001 Space Odyssey or something. It's full of RGBW stars. So you have cool over there, neutral and warm, and then of course the classic. It is a little more expensive for the RGBW, so if you don't need them, like you don't have to pick them up. But yeah, you can have these beautiful LED effects. And let's just go quickly through them.
Sure.
Let's check it out. So this is 8x8 LEDs. It's NeoPixel. It works with the NeoPixel library we have. RGB, and then warm white.
Yeah, what I can do is
just skip to the next one.
Since it's...
And this is going to be neutral. And then on the final video, the same RGB, and then cool. So 3 different options.
Hey, those are some pretty cool 3 different options, but the one that we're gonna look at today, I've got it right over there in my cabinet, so I'm gonna go and pull open the exact right drawer and get one, so hang tight. Hey, there it is. It's our product pick of the week this week. It is the NeoMatrix 64 RGBW in the neutral white. Do I have that right? Natural. In the natural white. So we do have these in 3 different white diode colors. And if you're wondering what's the deal with this, and let's see if I can, hey, is it kicking back in? Hey, okay, I think we're live again. Wow. That was a weird one. Yeah, my computer just kind of went blank and then woke back up in the same state it was, but the stream didn't like that. So, all right, so let's try that part of this again. All right, here we go. So, product pick this week is the NeoMatrix 64 RGBW in natural white. So if you're wondering what's the deal with this, this is an 8x8 matrix of neopixels. It acts like a single neopixel strip. But the deal with RGBW is that it's not just 3 diodes on there, on that little circle you see for the red, green, and blue. It's also got a white diode, a 4th diode. And those come in 3 different colors, typically, a cool, a natural, and a warm white. This is roughly 4,500 degrees Kelvin, which is how light temperatures are typically referred. I'm seeing a lot of fun, I gotta pop these up, a lot of fun screen grabs of still faces that you had to sit there looking at. So thanks everyone over in the Discord chat for those. It looks like we have decent maybe stream health right now, so apologies for that. So let me take that screen off of there for a second and get back to it. Yeah, so if we take a look over at the product page, I'm going to jump back here for a second. How about like this? Just put myself in the corner there. You can see this is the product pick. It's at half off right now, which is terrific. You can get these for $22.48, which is great. It's a lot of neopixels in a cool form factor. If you scroll down in here, you'll get some info about the board, and you will see there are links at the bottom here for the Learn Guide. And right here, this NeoPixel Learn Guide. If I take a look at one specific project, because there are a few that we've done, so if you look at this item in our Learn Guide system, here's a really cool one. This was created by the Ruiz brothers, and it is essentially a 3D printed case for this board or any of the 64 NeoPixel boards that gives us really nice isolation between the pixels using a little grid. And this means when you turn on one pixel, you don't bleed into the neighboring ones. And it uses a piece of our diffusion LED plastic or acrylic in the front. So it's a really nice way to spruce up this board, and you can use it with the, I recommend the Feather M4, which gives you a lot of power for doing the LED animation library, but you can use a lot of different boards that'll drive NeoPixels with this. One of the features of this board, by the way, is that it can be tiled. So you'll see it's got some little copper traces there, copper pads there, that give you something to bridge. You can usually put down a little header pin or something like that, bridge across them to give it some mechanical stability, and then you can hook up the out. There's a NeoPixel out to the NeoPixel in, as well as the 5 volts and the ground. If you take a look at my down camera here, I've got one that I built. So here what you're going to see, this is a rainbow display, so that's what we're used to, and then I have some stuff in the natural white. This one, actually, this is running, my monitor is making it look a little warmer to me than it is. It's really more of a neutral, natural color. So there we have some jade color, comet, or chase, and here's a really nice one. This is the pulse sparkle from the LED animation library, and then I just have that cycling. If you take a look at how this works in code, I'm going to pop up my Atom here for a second. Let me jump to that. Atom, A-T-O-M, that's my little coding app I use. You'll see here I'm importing a bunch of these LED animation libraries. I've imported NeoPixel, and I'm using LED animation sequence, which allows us to string together a bunch of these animations. I set up the NeoPixel, as we always do, by picking a digital pin on the output, and this one I'm using D6, kind of a traditional one. And I'm setting this to be a 64 pixel display, which is the 8x8. And then there's some neat stuff in the animation library for dealing with a matrix rather than a strip, so we don't see one line after another or a snaking pattern, which some displays will have. This lets us do sort of logical groupings of things and call some of them rows and some of them columns. And then once I've set those up, you'll see I've got this line right here. For some of the colors, I'm using RGB_white_W, and that allows me to specify just that white diode instead of lighting up red, green, and blue equally, which gives you a kind of color tinted white. It's never a great white compared to this single diode that's in there. And then I'm stringing together the animation sequence here, and then my main loop just runs through animations. So you can see here if I want to just, let's comment out all of these and just run that sparkle. It's a really nice looking one. I'll hit save here. It's going to rewrite that, and now I'll hide that Atom coding window. And now we can see just that nice neutral color white with this pulse sparkle animation. Makes for a really nice display, a little mood display. In fact, whenever the Ruiz brothers are on video chats or doing live streams, I see one of these in the background, and I've always been jealous. So I finally printed the parts for that yesterday. And you can see here, I did sort of a different, I didn't add a switch to mine, and I'm just running some header pins out from the feather with a little circuit at the bottom there into the input. There's a little standoff there that holds it. There's a slot for the switch if you add a power switch. There's space for a battery. But I'm just keeping mine plugged in here. So there's a lot, of course, that you can do in code other than just this. You can really run any NeoPixel animation, any NeoPixel code. You can also run this, I'm running this in CircuitPython. You can run this in Arduino, and then you can use things like fancy LED if you like. So pretty much the sky's the limit of what you can do with it, and it's a really neat way to get color as well as white LEDs into one package. I'll go ahead and resave my code there. This is really nice and fast to iterate on. You can test out different code. I have these running for 5 seconds each, and then it advances to the next one. So that's a little idea on how to get that set up. Let's see. It looks like let me see if we've got any questions here, and I'm going to take a look at the chat. So Doctor says, the blocks moving across up, down remind me of turbo lift lights in Star Trek when the lift is moving. What else? Yeah, a little jumpy but live. It looks like the bit rate is a little low. Sorry about that. I wonder how accurate these panels are. Yeah, color temperature-wise, I don't have a good way to measure the exact color temperature. So that's why you'll see there's a little tilde in front of the 4,500 degree Kelvin there. Probably I have some sensor up on this board that would give me a better idea of color temperature. Aza's Built to Code asks, what's the maximum number of boards you could serially connect together, assuming you take care of providing enough power to them? Oh boy, that's a really good question. I feel like maybe the limit for an M4 board, it's a memory issue. So you will each NeoPixel eats a bit of memory. So I feel like maybe somewhere around, practically speaking, 1024 might be where 1024 pixels, not boards, not that times 64, might be up there. But I'd be interested to know if anyone in the chat who's worked with huge numbers of NeoPixels has an answer to that. So yeah, Doctor says it's, memory constraint is going to be the main issue here. I believe you'll take a speed hit too. I don't think that the connection from pixel to pixel, when that data reaches the last pixel, it's going to take a while. So if you look at our NeoPixel Uber guide, that may have a bit of a better answer for you. If I jump back to Chrome browser here, this link actually inside the product page. Where'd it go? This big link right here goes to the Uber guide. And this will tell you some things about best practices, adding a resistor before the first pixel, which you can do to be a little more accurate on that first pixel, adding a capacitor if you're powering it off of, well, any way you're powering it. Powering them, there's a nice section here on how to power them effectively when you start to get into large numbers. And I feel like this guide may talk about your, yeah, here you can see the current draw. I think on a full bright, fully lit LED, you're at about 60 milliamps, so you've got to multiply that to figure out your current draw. Let's see, does this say? I'm stalling here for someone in the chat who just knows this off the top of their head, but I'm not sure. What's the max number? That's what we want to know. All right, we'll try to get an answer to that. Maybe ask an engineer tomorrow night. I bet Lady Ada knows the answer to that. Let's see. Well, I think that's about it. I have done two. I've made a display before that had two of these side by side, which was enough for my needs. Gives you 128 neopixels, which is a decent amount. When you start to get into huge numbers of pixels, it's probably more efficient to use a matrix, an RGB matrix display rather than NeoPixel. Then you're not going to run into the memory issues. Let's see, JSH says they've driven about 400 of them in the past at 60 hertz with an itsy bitsy M0. Wow. Yeah, Todd says that the Uber guide talks about your frame rates as well. Okay, the product is this lovely RGBW NeoPixel Matrix 64. Let me jump back, take you back to the product page for a second. There it is. I'm going to refresh, see if we still have them in stock. Maximum customer at this price per customer is 10 of them. So if anyone wants to test that out and see if 640 neopixels will do the trick, that would be great. Also know you can arrange these kind of any way you want. You could make one really long one, end on end. You could make a grid of them. You can make them in fun Tetris shapes. It's up to you. It just acts as a single NeoPixel strip. You could also run them as separate ones. So if you had a need to, you can run as many pins as you've got on your microcontroller. You can run a separate NeoPixel strand per. So you do have a lot of options with these. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for today. Let me jump back into Big O Vision here. Hey, look, that's me. The product pick of the week this week is the NeoMatrix 64 RGBW, and that is an 8x8 NeoPixel grid. I'll go ahead and put that on my pegboard back here. Adding a little twist tie there so I can hang it, and those are, by the way, useful mounting points for adding some fasteners to your build. So I'm going to go ahead and hang that there. And that's going to do it for today. So thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks for putting up with the weird technical glitch in the middle of it. Product pick of the week. And I will be back on Tuesday for John Park's workshop. So for Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.